Celtic world has more than its share of the supernatural, legends, and myth, which sometimes cross the line into reality. I tell those tales here on Dark Celtic History. Beware the Ashray. Somewhat recently, in the year 2000, a marine biologist and his colleagues from a university in New England came to Scotland to take samples from Loch Ness and a few of the other lochs around the highlands. They spent time in the highland lochs that have some sort of monster or creature legend associated with them. And after a late day of getting lost in the highlands of Scotland, the intrepid crew of scientists came across Loch Assynt. The blue deep waters were inviting, however, the cold gray stone of mountain backdrop was ominous. The loch has easy access, and the crew was able to gather their samples rather quickly. But as they were finishing up, an elderly gentleman walked by upon the simple one-track road only a few feet from the crew. He was very old, could barely walk without his cane, and had a grizzled, worn face. He looked over and cast a weary eye upon the crew, and I guess he overheard one of them say what a beautiful day it was, and that they wanted to take a swim. Hor air don lucher, the old man uttered in Gaelic as he stopped and returned his gaze. "Excuse me?" asked the young woman who was assisting the crew. The others chuckled and asked her to just leave him alone. But then suddenly the old man turned and advanced quickly upon the woman and her friends, faster than an old man should go. Hor air don lucher, the old man exclaimed as he stood within inches of the young woman's face, named Susan. So close his fetid breath made her nauseous. "Did he call you a whore?" said the man named Alan, leading the crew. "Go on, old man, get out of here. Shoo," he said. The old man just rolled his eyes, turned and walked away and never said another word. They watched as he walked into the horizon and disappeared from sight. The group of young Americans had a good laugh when the man was out of sight, then returned to their plans of a quick swim. "That was weird," they all said. "Yeah." Well, that was the conversation for the next few minutes until one of the others, a young student named Bruce, began screaming and splashing about. Furious to get out of the water, he knocked the young woman Susan over and into the water. Only moments later, she began screaming and hurrying out of the water herself. Not knowing what was going on, Alan came to their side, upon the shore by the van. "What happened?" he asked. "I saw a ghost. A body. Something. It came right at me and then was gone. Then at me again. It tugged and pushed until I got out of the water," Bruce explains. "I saw the same thing," Susan said, visibly shaken. Of course, the police was called, and when they showed up, they began taking their statements. However, they seemed more interested in the old man than the possible body in the loch. When the group told the policeman that what the old man had said, he stopped and called his partner over, who was a Gaelic speaker. After repeating the phrase, "Hor air don lucher," the policeman seemed visibly shaken and afraid. When the group of Americans pressed for more information, they refused and said all could be explained back at the station. Once there, they all sat around the desk and was offered coffee, while the visibly shaken policeman pulled a bottle of single malt out of his desk. He didn't even bother with a glass. He just turned the bottle up and took a large swallow. Then the policeman explained. The Ashray, or Ashray, is a water-loving creature which is completely translucent in appearance, sometimes mistaken for a sea ghost. The Ashrays are unable to live on land and can only be found underwater. They can be male or female and resemble humans in their late teens or early 20s. The best time to look for an Ashray is in the dead of night, for they are completely nocturnal. But you wouldn't want to look for one, for they feed on your life force unbeknownst to you. Before long, you're too weak to get out of the water, and then you drown. Without a life force or a soul, you become one of them, fated to haunt the still waters of the loch for all of eternity. He went on to explain that Hor air don lucher means beware of the Ashray in Scottish Gaelic.